Hi guys, welcome to our book club. Today will be the second session in our beginners level. Currently we are reading Sideways Stories from Wayside School by Sachar. And this video will cover from chapter number 7 to chapter number 12. So let's start. Hi guys, as I told you in the introduction of this video, today we will cover from chapter number 7 to chapter number 12. So let's start with the stories this time. And as you may see, I am already sharing my screen, so we have the first story that is about Calvin. And who is Calvin, you may think? Well, remember that Calvin appeared in Bebe's story? He was the guy who helped Bebe to draw very, very fast, but he didn't know how to draw. So in chapter number 7, we have his story, and is, like Miss Jewels, his teacher, asked him to go to the 19th story, to the 19th floor, to give a note to Miss Sarves. And Calvin says, are you sure, Miss Jewel? To the 19th floor? To Miss Sarves? And Miss Jewel yes, please, go. So Calvin says, okay. And he went all the way down, because remember that they are in floor number 30. So he went all the way down and then all the way up, and he was looking and looking and looking for floor number 19. But guess what, guys? It says, as you know, when the builder built Wayside School, he accidentally built it sideways. But he also forgot to build the 19th story. He built the 18th and then the 20th, but not the 19th. He said he was very sorry. So there's no floor, there's no teacher, and Calvin is just, walking all over the place looking for it. But there's no 19th floor. So, he is waiting for it, and then suddenly Louis, the yard teacher, look him. And he's like, hey, Calvin, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, I am looking for teacher Sarves. Sarves? Yes, I am looking for floor number 19. 19? Okay, well, it's okay. But, there's no 19, there's no teacher, there's no nothing. And Louis, the teacher, told Calvin, okay, told your teacher, it's the only thing you can do. And, he says, yes, I need to tell my teacher. Yes, I will come back. So he come back all the way down, all the way up to the 30th floor, to his room. And when he entered, and he's about to say, hey, I couldn't find anybody, Miss Jewel says, oh, you deliver it? Oh, yes. The note was very important. I told her to miss, not to meet her for lunch. So thank you so much, because it was a very important message. Thank you. You are a good messenger. And Calvin is okay, but I didn't do anything. And that is the end of chapter number 7. So then we have chapter number 8 with Myron. And pay attention, here, because, it says Myron had big ears, big ears. He was elected class president. The children in Miss Jewel's class expecting him to be a good president. So other presidents were good speakers. Myron was even better. He was a good listener. But he had a problem. He didn't know what a class president was supposed to do. So he asked, what am I supposed to do? And Miss Jewel says, you have to do the most important job of all of jobs, possible. You have to turn on and you have to turn off the lights. So every time we arrive, we need to have light for working. And then when we go, you have to turn off the lights. And Myra says, just that? But that doesn't seem to be very difficult. And Miss Jewel says, it's the most important thing you can do. So do it. And the very first time, Myron did it. But then guess what? It says, on his way home, Myron heard a horrible noise. First, there was a loud screeching, then a sharp squeal, a roaring engine, and then the very faint sound of a girl crying. Myron ran to see what happened. Dana was bent over in the middle of the road. "What's the matter?" asked Myron. "My dog, Pooksy, was hit by a car," Dana cried. "Who did it?" "I don't know." They speed away. They, like go. They go away. Se escaparon, huyeron. They speed away. Oh, well, they sped. So, like in his way back to school, after the teacher told him, like, this is the most important job of all jobs, he went to his house, and in the middle of the way, in the middle of the road, he listened to an accident. So he ran to see, like what happened, in order to see how he could help. And he saw one of his friends, Dana, who has his dog, and his dog was run over, atropellado. So, it's very, very, very funny because Pooksy, that's the name of his dog. So Myron was like, "Oh no, we need to save the dog." So he grabbed the dog and he ran to the bed. They arrived to the bed helped the dog, and then, like Myron said, like, "I need to go." So he arrived to his house, and he couldn't stop thinking about Pooksy, about the dog, about, like, maybe I hope, like the dog is okay. So the next day, it says, well, next day, Myron went to Dana's house, like, "Hey, how is your dog?" And they kept, like talking and entertained. So when they arrived to school, it was already late. And guess what? It says, well, it says, they were late. They ran up the stairs to Miss Jewel's class. The room was completely dark. "It's about time you got here, Myron," said Miss Jewels. "We have no lights." And then Myron was like, "But, like, why didn't somebody else just turn them off?" And Miss Jewel says, "Because that was your job. And you know what? You are not a good class president. So we will change you." And then, like, they change for Stephen. And it says, like, "Okay, Myron, like, teach Stephen what is, like, the only task he needs to complete as a class president." And, well, like, the story ends just, like, Myron, who was president for only one day, was the best president in the story of Wayside School. It's just that nobody knew it. Nobody knew that he saved a dog, and that's why he arrived late. But that is it for the story number 8. So we have then Marisha. And Marisha has, like, appeared in previous chapters, so probably her name, it's already, like, Marisha. So it says that Marisha, she loves ice cream. All the time she's eating ice cream. But that she is tired of eating the same ice cream flavor all the time. So she changed for another flavor. And when she tired of that flavor, she changed for another flavor. And when she tired of that flavor too, she changed for another flavor. So at the end, like it says, she got tired of strawberry, fudge ripple, butter pecan, pistachio, and burgundy cherry in that order. So, like, she tried so many flavors and she got tired of all of them. So she was a little bit sad and, like, "Oh no, like, I cannot eat ice cream anymore. It's not, like, there's nothing new. All the time is the same." And she started getting sad. So Miss Jewel says, like, "Oh, but, like, why are you sad?" And Marisha told her, "Because, like, I like ice cream, but ice cream is not, like, a tasty." And Miss Jewel had an idea. So I said, like, I got it. And she, next day, she, bring to school Mauritia ice cream. So she took a lot of ingredients, she mixed them, and she had Mauritia ice cream. Everybody was, tasting Mauritia flavor ice cream. And everybody says, like, oh, this is amazing, this is awesome. And Mauritia says, like, it doesn't taste like anything. And Mijuel says, oh, yes, because it tastes like you. And you are the only one who cannot taste your flavor. So next day, teacher have, another flavor. And it says, this ice cream has no taste, said Mauritia. It doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste like anything at all. Jewel was heartbroken. Here, let me try, said Todd. He tasted it. You're crazy, Mauritia, he said. This is the best tasting ice cream I ever eaten. Try some, Didi. It's delicious, said Didi. It's so sweet and creamy. She passed it around the room. Oh, it is so good, said Leslie. I think taste is terrible, said Carrie. Because Marisha loved everybody but Katie. So Katie is like, I don't like Marisha ice cream either. So, well, anybody was happy with Marisha ice cream, but Marisha couldn't taste it. So it says, the following day, Miss Jewel brought in rum flavor ice cream. So everybody was tasting rum flavor ice cream, and Marisha loved it. But rum couldn't taste anything. So next day, it was, another flavor, Katie flavor. And then it was another flavor, Todd's flavor. So everybody, all kids were trying their own ice cream flavor. And everybody says, like, oh, but Mauritia ice cream was awesome. It was excellent. And it says that, Mauritia also tried all ice creams. She liked all of them, but his favorite was Todd's ice cream. So it says, every once in a while, Marisha will try to take a bite out of Todd's arm in order to get that very special flavor. So Marisha, loves so much Todd ice cream that sometimes, just because she wanted to remember the flavor, she bites her classmate arm. And, well, that is it for Mauritia. That is the end of Mauritius stories. And then we have a very funny story. We have Paul's story, and that will be the end of this chapter. This video. So let me introduce Paul. And Paul is a very quiet guy who is sitting, in the farthest away from Miss Jewels. So he is sitting down at the bottom of the class, hasta atrás. And he's super happy with it. But he says, I need to be quiet. I need not to, not to be so noisy. Otherwise, somebody will, take my seat. And I love this seat. So he was super happy. But then what happened? He didn't see one thing, but two things. Leslie's two pigtails. What are pigtails? One pigtail, another pigtail. Colitas. Colas. It doesn't matter the size. When you have one, it's a ponytail. When you have two, those are pigtails. So Paul is, super calm. But then he sees that in front of him is Leslie. And Leslie has two pigtails. Dos colitas. And, her pigtails are very long. Very, very long. Until, her waist. La cintura. Sorry. So, all the class, Paul is like, I want to pull them. I want to pull them. Like I want to pull them. But he's also thinking like, no, I cannot do that. I will be in trouble. And if I have 3 strikes, I will be sent home. I don't want that. So he's thinking like, I won't do it. I won't do it. And then suddenly what happened? He didn't think about it. And then he pulled it. So Leslie is like, oh, and is like, oh, Miss Jewel, like Paul just pulled my pigtail. And Miss Jewel says like, okay, Paul, like your name is on the board. And then Paul says like, oh, no, 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 I cannot do that. And then what happened? The pigtail start talking because it says, no, Paul Fair, I can't. Okay, I can, Paul answered. My name already on the blackboard under the word discipline. Big deal, said the pigtail. Pull me. Because the the pigtail, the second pigtail, imagine that, I don't have pigtails, guy. But imagine that this and this are my pigtails. So I have, like 2 pigtails. So Paul just pulled one. And the other one start talking like, hey, Paul, pull me harder, pull me. And Paul is like, oh no, but like I cannot pull you. Leslie will get upset and then Miss Jewel will, like punish me. And the pigtail is like, it doesn't matter. Pull me, but pull me really hard, like I really like to like a really hard pull. And Paul is like, oh no, I cannot do that. But then he's like, do it. Like you cannot just pull one. That will be unfair. Pull me. So he says like, okay. So he grabbed it and pulled it really, 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 really hard. So Leslie screamed like, hey. And Mijewel says like, hey, Paul, did you just pull, like Leslie pigtail again? And says like, no, I pulled the other one. And everybody started laughing. And he said like, yes, because it was a little bit unfair just to pull one. And he said, and everybody started laughing. So, like he says like, okay, I can be, like calm now. I can pull twice every day and I will be safe. No punishment. And then Leslie screamed again. And Paul wasn't home. But, like, Paul was like, but I didn't do it. But nobody believed him. So that is a funny story, very funny, because, like, pull me hard. And this is vocabulary for you guys, pigtail. So from now on, you already know how to say colitas, like 2 colitas, pigtails. One is not called a pigtail, one is called a ponytail. I don't have a ponytail today, guys, I have a bun. But ponytail, it will be 1 coleta, cola de caballo, and pigtails, colitas, 2 colas. Okay? So, stories were very short this time. We have, like a little bit of vocabulary. For example, here we have pigtails, pigtail. And then, well, here we have also pool. We have, like also, well, I think that will be here. Oh, a little talk. Talk, it will be fuerte, like rudo. And, with Mauricia, we don't have problems with vocabulary. Probably, like taste, that it will be saborear. We have, the best tasting ice cream. So, el que mejor sabe, el helado que mejor sabe. And what else we have? Well, with Myron, we have, like probably the turn on, turn off, or maybe we have the switch. It doesn't have the switch. No, it doesn't say the switch. So that's it. We have, like hit by a car, golpeado por un auto, so he was run over. Oh, very faint, muy débil, faint. What else do we have? For example, here, guys, we have Band-Aid. Band-Aid is a brand of, like well, it is called Band-Aid, some curitas. And what else? What else? So here with Calvin, we have the note. Remember that the story doesn't mean cuento, means piso. So what else do we have here? For example, he tossed him. Toss, aventar, le pasó. He tossed him. Also, remember, for example, when we are talking about numbers, like ordinal numbers, we say primero, segundo, tercero, cuarto, quinto. Well, like that th means that. So the 20th, el vigésimo, the 90th, el decimonoveno. So they are talking with cardinal numbers. And well, guys, as I told you, that will be it, because next one will be chapter. Oh no, my bad. We need to check until chapter number 12. My bad. So let's just continue then with Dana's story. And well, Dana, she is Dana, and it seems that she is really good at maths, mathematics. So like she is there, and she has 4 beautiful eyes because she's using like glasses. And in this story, the teacher, Miss Jewel, is like, hey, we will have mathematics class. We will have arithmetic. So please pay attention. And Dana is like, no, please, teacher, no. I cannot concentrate. Because, like all my body is itching. Me da comezón, like I itch. And because, like she was covered with mosquito bites. So, like piquetes de mosquito bites. So Dana says like, no, please, teacher, I cannot concentrate because, like the mosquito bites, it's itching. I can't. And then Jewel says like, come on, stop. Mosquito bites is very different. Numbers are numbers. Concentrate. And then his classmates like, oh, teacher, but I'm too tired. Oh, but I'm hungry. Oh, but I'm too dumb. I don't understand arithmetic. And teacher says, stop. Let you study. I didn't ask you. So open your book. And Dana says like, but teacher, please, like I cannot concentrate. And Jewel says like, okay, let's think that mosquito bites are numbers. So she started, like changing a little bit. How much is 1 mosquito bite plus 3 mosquito bites? 4 mosquito bites. And how much is 10 mosquito bites minus 8 mosquito bites? 2 mosquito bites. So she started, like putting some examples with mosquito bites. And then she says, okay, it says, how much is 49 mosquito bites plus 75 mosquito bites? And nobody says anything. But Dana says like, okay, I will do math like this. And also, she started counting her mosquito bites. So she said, at last, Dana began counting her own mosquito bites. She counted 75 on the side and 49 on the other. So 75 on one side and then 49 on the other. Then she, like she, like made math. She added them, lo sumó. Oh, sorry. She added them, and then for the total, she had 124 mosquito bites. Just imagine 124. And then says like, 124 mosquito bites. And teacher says like, very good, excellent. And the mosquito bites stop itching. No more comezón. No more, like, ¿cómo es rascar? Scratch. Scratch will be rascar. So, like, no more itching, no more scratching. And then I was like, oh, like mosquito bites are not mosquito bites anymore. They are numbers. So she was okay. But then his, like friends start like, but teacher, mosquito bites, like I am still hungry, but I am still tired, but I am still dumb. And Dana says like, oh, good thing, like mosquito bites were numbers. Just imagine letters. I don't know how to spell mosquito. And that is the end of the story. So if you don't know what is spell means deletrear. So I could never spell mosquito. Yo jamás podría haber deletreado mosquito. Okay? So also remember, the mosquitoes don't like poke, no pican in English, they bite, muerden. So a mosquito bite, una picadura de mosquito. And well, let's just continue now with the last story. And this last story is about Jason. So who is Jason? And well, Jason is the guy with the biggest mouth, the second biggest mouth in Jewel class. Okay, it says there were an awful lot of big mouths in class, but he had the second one. And then it says, like everybody was taking class, and then Jason says, teacher, Joy is, like chewing gum. Chewing gum, like, come on. And Midjewel says, like, Joy, are you, like chewing gum? Come on, that is bad. And Jason, and Midjewel says, like, do you want to see your name on the board? Do you want a punishment? No, right? So please do something about it. And Jason says, like, don't worry, teacher, I will write her name. So they were sitting down. They were, like sitting down. So he stood up and he walked to the board in order to write the name. So when he was up, Joy was like, and she just grabbed the gum and put it on the seat. So when Jason arrived and he sat down, he said like, teacher, I'm stuck. I cannot move. And the teacher says like Joy, like say sorry to Jason. And Joy says like, I'm sorry. And Jason like, no problem. But like I cannot be here forever. I'm stuck. I cannot move. Like I don't want to be here forever. And Midjewel says like, don't worry. I have some tricks. So, like she went all the way down. Oh, yeah, no, my bad. Because, like teacher, oh, yes, it says, like first, and everybody was like, oh, yes, I'm stuck. So it says, Midjewel asked the three Erics to help. So Eric Fry, Eric Ovens, they were pulling, like Jason, and Eric Bacon was holding the chair. So three people, one here, and one grabbing the chair. And everybody was, like helping Jason. But nothing happened. Jason said like, oh, stop, you will just rip my pants. Like van a romper, van a desgarrar, you will rip my pants. And it says that Rondi and Allison were jiggling like he. That is jiggle, okay? So, like Midjewel says like, I have an idea. I have just to bring, like some cold water. But something really interesting happened with Miss Mosh. Miss Mosh is the lunch teacher, the one who cooks. But it seems that she doesn't know how to cook, because soups were always cold. Like here you have it, as cold as her soups. So, well, Like Miss Jewel Miss Jewel went all the way down to the cafeteria to, like with Miss Mosh in order to grab water. And meanwhile, like Jason cannot move. So his classmate took advantage and he started, like tickling. So Jason like, oh, ha, 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 stop, please stop. And when Jewel arrived, he's like, no, please stop. Like, no. And then Jewel grabbed the bowl of water and he did like, so now Jason is wet. And he's like, I cannot move. No, no, that didn't help. So, like, okay, they try something else. They try to flip him and pull him, like, hey, hey, like you can see in the first image, like this. But nothing worked. Nothing was working. Nothing. And then it says, like, okay, we need to, like, rip off, we need to cut your pants. And he was like, no, please, no, no, don't do that. I will stay here forever then. And Joy says, like, teacher, I have an idea. I can, like, help Jason. I can help him, like, unstuck. I can help him, it says. All right, say me, Jewel, if you can, no, let me say, wait, say Joy, sorry. Me, Jewel, I can get Jason unstuck. Do I still have to go home in the kindergarten bus? Because remember that Joy's name was on the board. And me, Jewel says, like, okay, I will help you. If you help Jason, you can stay. And then says, like, okay, teacher, I will do it. The only thing I need to do is to kiss him on the nose. Just like on the nose. And Jason says, like, oh no, please don't let her kiss me. No, 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 no. So, like at the end, it says, like, Joy kissed him. Jason hung helplessly upside down. So remember, he was the cabeza, upside down. And then Joy stepped up and kissed him on the nose. Se acercó and kissed him on the nose. Jason fell out of the chair and hit his head on the floor. So, bam, like he fell. And it says, like they were like, ho, 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 ho. And Todd says, oh, come on, like, I will be home alone. Because if Joy goes home, Todd can go home alone. And remember that Todd is a classmate that we read about him in the other session. Who is Todd? The guy who is always, like talking. And he wants to see what happened at 4 p.m. But he is always, like punished and he always go early home. So, well, that is the end. So at the end, Joy, she wasn't punished. And, well, Jason, I think he was a little bit, like gossiping, chismoso, gossip, because he told teacher about Joy's chewing gum. But, well, like he received his little punishment, his little doses of karma, because, like he was stuck, he was wet, and then, like somebody kissed him on his nose. So that is it now, guys. And for this time, that will be it. Next time, it will be chapter 13. So let's just stop right here. And as you may see, you have a lot of vocabulary, the same as I was telling you just a few minutes ago. In this chapter, for example, you have upside down. Upside down, it will be de cabeza, because upside, el lado de arriba hacia abajo. And then, like hang. Colgar. So he was hanging. And then, for example, here you have an expression, I don't mind. Mind, in this case, it is not mente. It's not like no mente. No. Mind, in this case, it's a verb and means no me importa, no importa. No me causa conflicto. I don't mind. Okay? So, I think that will be. Oh, yes, here you have another word, jiggle. Jiggle, remember, it is not like smile. No es reírse or no es sonreír. Sonreír will be smile, reír will be laugh, like ha 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 ha. But this is jiggle. You know, like you are just una risita. So they were jiggling. And I think, oh yeah, for example, here you have another one, to tickle. Tickle, no, tickles me, like ha ha ha, like hacer cosquillas. And remember also from chapter, like 11 with Dana, we have the itch, that it will be comezón, like itch, it's a verb. I itch too much, me da comezón. No es, like tengo. In English is I itch. Okay? And remember that rascarse, that will be scratch. Okay? And I think that that will be now this time. That will be all this time, guys. So, well, I really hope that you enjoy the stories. Stories are very short, they are very funny. Sometimes they don't have, like a interesting ending. But remember, the objective is to understand and to get vocabulary little by little. Okay? So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And well, I will see you next Saturday at 2 p.m. for our second session and continue having an excellent reading. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.